May the Force be with you, viewers, as today we look at the hotly anticipated title from Fantasy Flight Games, Outer Rim. This new smuggling simulator throws you into the deep end of Star Wars lore and allows you to pick up the mantle of infamous smugglers and bounty hunters, all trying to earn their fortune. Will your name and ship strike fear into the galaxy, or will you fade away into irrelevance? Let's open the box and find out. Inside the box, you'll first find the twin manuals, one for your first game to introduce you how turns work, and the second is a reference manual replete with lots of details about all the game's keywords and interactions. I personally really like these in all of FFG's games, and I'm glad to see them here. Underneath those are the puzzle pieces for the horseshoe board, which we'll see fully laid out in a minute, and then, slapdashed into the center channel here are all the game's cards and tokens. Secreted in the box smuggling compartment are the artful ship cards and player boards. Give me about 10 minutes to set up all these pieces in their rightful places, and then I'll walk you through exactly how this game works in detail. Each character has their own databank card they'll draw at the start of the game, which gives them their starting cargo or job. This card will also give the character their starting planet or location, so everyone starts out scattered across the known systems. You'll start with a generic ship, and you get to choose which of the two base models you'll call home. They differ in starting stats a little bit, so you can customize how you want to start the game. On a player's turn, they start with a planning step, opting to either blast across the galaxy, or you can stay put and choose to either rest and repair all the ship and character damage, or do an odd job for a local bigwig and gain 2,000 credits. Once that decision's been made, you then get to take actions. There are 4 choices, and you can take as many as you want, but perform each only once. If there's another player in your space, you can trade with them, as many cards and credits as you both agree on. This is half the player interaction in the entire game, so you may want to keep an eye on what your fellow smugglers are toting about and make them an offer they can't refuse. That's the wrong franchise. Sorry about that. If you're on a planet, you can opt to visit the market, choosing to buy from any of the decks containing bounties, cargoes, gear, jobs, and mods. There's a very welcome mechanic built into this action where you can discard the top card of any deck you want before buying, and it doesn't even have to be the deck you're planning to buy from. This allows you to slough away a card you think a rival might want, or get yourself a better option. After you do that, you can even change your mind and not buy anything. This means you'll almost always take the market action, allowing you to flip the top card of any deck you want at no cost to you. The lifeblood of Outer Rim comes in the deliver action, where you'll drop off precious cargo or bounties to the planet of destination and gain the reward for doing so. This is most often cash, but can sometimes be fame, which pushes you closer to winning the game. You're also going to be acquiring better ships, additional gear, mods, equipment, all of which may have an action keyword on them. This allows you to do something of relevance on your turn by activating them. Again, you can do the action any number of times you want, but only once per instance. You can't activate your character ability more than once per turn, for example. So, what works here? Thematically, this game is a gem. The encounter step is the last thing you'll do on a turn, and it's great fun to pick up a bounty for Maz Kanata and have to bounce from system to system trying to track her down, amongst all the face-down characters. It really feels like you're interacting with the characters and lore we've come to love from the Star Wars universe. From hunting down contacts like Ponda Baba, K2SO, and Hera Syndulla, to pulling off long cons like a casino heist, rescuing slaves from the mines, and assisting the rebels on Lothal. A lot of work has been put in to make sure you're actually working in the Star Wars IP, rather than just performing generic sci-fi stuff with Star Wars slapped onto it. The pace of the game is also incredibly well done. Racing to 10 fame takes a lot less time than you'd think, and everyone's going to want to try and get their hands on Millennium Falcon or Slave 1 as their ship upgrade. But chasing cool tech means that you're not earning renown, and a crafty player can quickly zip about in their starter ship, getting 10 fame before word of your epic ride can even reach the closest cantina. Wonderfully, this results in games of Outer Rim becoming about reading your fellow players. Setting the pace at a table can be done by just one person, and it feels delicious to see your friends abandon their plans because they have to match your tempo. Where does Outer Rim miss a step? For players of Gale Force 9's Firefly game, the drawbacks of that title are present, but to a lesser extent here. There's still the issue of traipsing about different systems looking for a job suited to your crew's particular skills. Rifling through the decks gets easier with the filtering mechanic built in, but it can still be frustrating to not get what you want for a while. There's trading involved, as I mentioned earlier, but that requires a willing partner, and even if the trade is mutually beneficial, if one player is ahead by 2 or 3 fame, you're going to be reluctant to help them. Sadly, my other concern with this game is with the component quality. These player boards are warped right out of the box and don't fit what they need to very well. There's not heavy enough to slot cards underneath and have them stay there, and they also aren't big enough to really pop on the table. The game's money is represented by these tiny cardboard tokens, and there's just too many cards scattered across the table to make a streamlined game experience. I see what FFG is going for here, as you want to have each system feel different from the others, but in practice, you end up having to scoot around the map a lot more than you want. Also, I haven't even gotten into the space combat mechanic, and that's mostly because in several playthroughs, it's only ever been relevant a couple times. It's a big opportunity missed, and I'm sad about it. Star Wars Outer Rim plays at a nice clip, has some wonderful moments, and features all the names and ships you've always wanted to play. Let's go through our checklist before I give you my final thoughts. In the box, rulebook clear and non-gender pronouns. First of all, we're back to the two rulebooks that Fantasy Flight has made their signature deal. The Learn to Play book walks you through all the rules you need to get set up in playing your first game, and does so without using gendered pronouns throughout. The second person you is used to denote the player. The rules reference guide has detailed information for every keyword and action in the game, so it's nice to have around after you get the gist of the game. Like the Force, you'll want to have it with you, always. Iconography clear. For the most part, everything is contextual, so while some of the icons are confusing on first blush, if you know what you're looking for, it's actually pretty clear. Your first game is going to be a little daunting, but once you get the system, it's actually fairly elegant. Packaging well done. Fantasy Flight is once again their own worst enemy here. The box insert is awful. Their standard single channel in the middle of the box with game components all strewn about in there looking like the inside of a sandcrawler. There aren't really enough baggies either, forcing you to jam a lot of pieces into the same bag. I'm hoping that someday FFG will change the system, but we're not there yet. On the table. Good representation. Of the 8 playable characters in the game, there are 3 men, 3 women, a droid, and a Trandoshan. I'm personally very happy to finally see representation for the large bipedal sentient reptiles. It's about time. Component quality. Nothing inside the box particularly stands out, apart from the puzzle piece map arc. The money is tiny punch-out tokens, the ships are represented by large cards with some standard Star Wars art, and everything else is more or less fine. The real bummer here is that the player boards that house the character cards and track your fame are flimsy and came out of my box warped enough to not sit right on the table. Overall, I was hoping for a little more attention paid to the actual game material. Replay value. Decent. The databank deck tracks the results of the conditions of most of the jobs you'll go on, and these are decently randomized across the planets and systems you'll be visiting. While it's definitely possible you'll see the same crimes across multiple plays, there should be enough variety to keep the game fresh for a few Kessel runs. Fun to lose. After a few plays, I'm on the fence about this one. Generally speaking, when you lose, it's because the dice failed you or you planned poorly. Neither feels particularly great, and falling behind early can definitely set you back, almost to the point of not being able to recover. A better rubber banding mechanic would have solved this issue, but it's mysteriously absent. When the Force dust settles, Outer Rim is a fine game. It does the job of simulating smuggling and taking illicit jobs across the Star Wars universe. Asymmetrical player powers contribute to feeling like everyone's got their own thing going on, almost too much. As previously mentioned, there's almost no player interaction, a curious absence for a universe where good and evil are constantly at odds. Subverting each other and snaking jobs out from underneath your rival bounty hunters or smugglers would seem like a great addition here, but it's limited to the very small instances of direct combat and trade. Overall, Outer Rim does what it does pretty well, but you may find that unlike a Jedi, you'll be craving a little more adventure and excitement. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed that video, please hit that sub button and check out all of our other offerings at goodluckhighfive.com. And please consider becoming a patron of the channel at patreon.com/GLHFmagic and help us keep making reviews, videos, and podcasts for as little as $5 a month. We're also always looking for new games to review, so if you make games or you know a company who does and wants to have their game reviewed on Good Luck High Five, please reach out to us at glhf@goodluckhighfive.com and we'd be happy to take a look. You can follow me, Captain N the Game Master, on Twitter and Instagram at CaptainNGM, and follow the channel at GLHF Magic. Remember, please shop at your local game store whenever possible. Until next time, I'm Nicholas, and good luck, high five.